Yeah.
Good evening, welcome all. Today's session we are going to focus on procurement and tendering. That is the next core competency which is most important to start with, because although we are doing many things in different competencies, commercial management of construction, it has everything included in it. Although it is specifically as a commercial manager, they are addressing the competency, but all other core competencies and some of the mandatory competencies are part of the commercial management. And again, similar to that, the procurement and tendering also the place where we have to take into consideration of many aspects that are relevant in different core competencies and optional competencies before proceeding with the procurement and then tendering. So again, the basic understanding what some of the assessors and chairperson are specific to know whether you have the clear knowledge of differentiating how procurement and tendering are being considered within the industry. So the first thing is procurement is the overall process, entire. So it has completely including the tendering also. But when it comes to tendering, it is the specific section of procurement where we arrange for tendering. That means selecting the contractor by conducting a tendering method. So it may be anything. There may be many type of tendering or different stages of tendering phases you can use to select one contractor or subcontractor or consultant, whatever it may be, for which purpose you are doing. That is called tendering. Again, tendering is also a part of procurement. Procurement is the entire spectrum. That is the complete landscape where tendering is a specific part. So that understanding they would expect you to exhibit. That is very important. So procurement, this is how you are going to appoint a consultant or a design engineer or a contractor or even a subcontractor. So based on your area of practice and your stakeholder whom you are working for, that is very important. So if you are working for an engineer, then you will be helping the employer to find contractor or maybe some of the nominated subcontractors. So those kind of things are you are being part of the procurement. But when it comes to main contractor, complete supply chain, it may be the subcontractors, suppliers, or labor contractors, anybody. So they are going to be there for you to procure, because as a main contractor, you are not going to do each and every element on your own. You will be appointing specific specialist for particular aspects. That is what it is important. So first thing, when you go for procurement, so we have strategies how we are going to address it. A client wants to start construction on a complex project as soon as possible. That means he is in a hurry. He wanted to start immediately. Advise them on the most appropriate tendering strategy. Compare and contrast the benefits and drawbacks of a single stage versus a two-stage tender in this context, because he wants to start early as much as possible. So that is the context here, focusing on cost and time certainty. You need to have cost certainty as well as time certainty for the client. So anybody please try to answer, Shifat?
Yeah, actually, I'm just reading out.
Just approach us how you will do whenever something is presented to you.
I think in that scenario, the design and build, which is the most commonly being used.
Okay. So here they are asking you to compare and contrast. So, and particularly they are asking about single stage and two stage tendering also. Yes, Mr. Karthik, if you want to try, please
Yes, sir.
go ahead.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Sir, in the given scenario, the complexity of the project I would advise to my client, that is management contracting. In this, through this management contracting, the contractor yearly involvement can be ensured. Through the contractor buildability also can be utilized by the client. And coming back to this single stage and two stage tendering, two stage tendering, it will be a better, since the time need to save by the client. So two stage tendering, the contractor involvement will be in the first stage, and the cost also can be saved through the contractor buildability, so that this kind of complexity project, considering the cost also during the contractor buildability through the value engineering by design involvements, this management contracting is the suitable for this complex project.
Okay. Anybody wants to add something? Yes, Sarasan.
Yeah. Yeah. In this scenario, I will advise to the client to go for a two-stage tendering, because this is the complex project and time is the constraint for the client. In this case, the client can take the client can appoint the contractor in the first stage, and parallelly he can start mobilizations, and parallelly he can start in mobilization and with the design with the contractor design also. Then the cost wise, he can take in the two-stage tendering, he will take the ad hoc schedules with all the rates. Then cost, it will be it can be managed, it can be adjust, like. Then second stage, the negotiation also it will come. Then client can focus on the cost as well as time in this two-stage tendering.
Yeah, early involvement will optimize the cost also of the project, the input from the contractor.
Yes.
Yeah.
But what I want to highlight here, we have to stick to the question what is presented to us. Here, the client wants to start construction on a complex project as soon as possible. So this is the background. Advise them on the most appropriate tendering strategy. So it is about tendering only. They are not asking anything about procurement. So when they mention the tendering, so just stay with the tendering. So what are all the different options available to you? So how do you approach? And what is the thing you have to consider when it is single stage and two stage? And what different tendering are we are aware of? It's about to open, public, and negotiated, selected. That means which you have pre-qualified and you are bringing them in, negotiated. So those kind of things are differing tendering strategy. So here, when you are answering also, what is the benefit when you go for single stage versus two stage? And again, this is about tendering. So when they come for tendering, you may ask the assessor for clarification whether the design has been completed or not. Now we are speaking about tendering. That means it is the design is ready or not. You may ask him, because it is not clear from here. We are speaking about single stage or two stage. Although they are mentioning two stage, it's not clear. Still, you can ask them. We are not speaking about procurement routes. This is only asking, you are only asking about tendering strategy. That means what is the status? Otherwise, you start with that. I am assuming, since the question is asking the differentiate between single stage and two stage. So I am taking into consideration this is still the design isn't completed. So that part we have to address, then move on. Then they will understand that you are having complete understanding about the question presented, and you try to approach how it is going to benefit the client. Although clients, he has a complex project. And again, yes, of course. Now the procurement routes, that is available, whether the procurement route, is it good for two-stage tendering or not? Which are the procurement routes are good for two-stage tendering? Any idea?
Procurement management and
Procurement management?
no,
No, that is the holistic approach. What is the procurement routes, I'm asking?
management contracting.
Okay, management contracting. So management contracting, how do you appoint a management contractor? What is the difference between contract management and management contractor?
The main difference is like the construction. There is one party. I mean, the contracts with the client. It will be assigned in the procurement management procurement.
Okay.
The construction management, the contractor and the client will have the contractual relationship, but the construction manager will act as a agent to the both the parties. But the management contracting, there is no link between employer and the package contractor. Only the contractually linked with the management contractor. This is the major difference.
Okay. So the question is, the main contractor, there is a lead contractor or main contractor is there, one term. Management contractor is there. Both of them are same or different in the industry.
I think it's same.
In the industry, of course, it is same.
Yeah.
So whenever possible, they take up the role as either, if it is possible, to break down by packages and let it be executed by subcontracting, or by their own, they will decide and continue. But contract management is completely like similar to project management. They may take into aiding the employer or the client to choose the packages or procure the packages individually. So here, of course, the management contractor is the one who can be utilized for two-stage tendering. So what else if the complex project is of a nature which has more scope for the lead contractor? In that case, we need? Yes.
We can go with the design build also, sir.
Yes, design build also. So design and build we can do for sure. Two-stage tendering we are discussing about. So when you are giving design and design build, that means yes, traditional is the one we can where we can do this. But when we go for design and build, you are giving the responsibility completely to the contractor, design and build. That means he is going to have the detailed design development. So why we want to have him in the initial stage for the buildability knowledge? That may not be the right scenario. That's why design and build, when we are involving, we have to be more specific how we are going to tackle this. Are you going to utilize that design engineer for certain level and then you are going to innovate? So what is the scenario? You have to go into more detail. Otherwise, on the holistic approach, it may not be a right decision to approach design and build. Because the design and build you are going to give based on the performance requirement, fit for purpose. You will have only the concept or schematic details of the project. Other than that, the detailed design developments are going to be developed by the contractor, design and build contractor. Is it fine, or you are having some different idea from this? Anybody having still what I mean to say, there is confusion, or is it clear?
It's clear.
Okay, thank you. So that is the thing. And again, finally, cost and time certainty. So here, how you are going to overcome some of the difficulties or risk associated with particular procurement route. Okay, you are mentioning about traditional or management contractor. In that case, so who has the responsibility for the time or cost certainty? So we have to, whenever a level 3 question presented to us, we should not stop. We have to, as it states clearly, compare and contrast. Always say if it is traditional, how it will be. If it is management contractor, how it will be, because management contractor, until the last package is finalized, there is no clear scope for the management contractor, that is the risk has been clearly transferred or not. So that how you are going to manage. So here you should have very good team from the employer or the client, then only you will be able to manage appropriately and conclude all the packages on time. Otherwise it is going to delay. And again, until or unless you are going to conclude all the packages, cost certainty also there is risk. When you go back to traditional, yes, of course, it is, you cannot start until or unless you have some design developed that is ready for construction and you are appointing the contractor for second stage. Until then, the work has not been started. But when you come to the management contractor, you can start immediately with the single package which is available immediately with you. You can go ahead. But here, when you say two stage, stage one, you are only availing the services to support the design team, the employer, in finalizing the design details. And maybe there may be some sort of arrangements that can be utilized on a day work basis. Other than that, nothing is there. So unless you are ready for the second stage, the traditional method, it won't help us as much as possible. But the problem is when we go for management contracting, you need to be managing from the employer side. Someone has to be there representing the employer to manage the entire design and procurement conclusion of all the packages. Although the employer is not going to have direct contractual relations with the package subcontractor or package contractors, trade contractors, it's still you have to conclude the designs and instruct the main contractor or the management contractor to proceed with procurement. Until that stage, it is not clear. And again, do we have the cost certainty? That is also another question. Again, that is the problem. So this kind of thing, when it comes to traditional, the design development, it will take more time. So time certainty, it is problem clearly. And when it comes to the management contracting, the cost certainty is the main risk. Time you can do, you can manage, but still the cost certainty, how would you achieve? How would you overcome, or how would you transfer the risk of each and every package? That is very important. So this is about compare and contrast. That is the scenario. You don't need to give one answer. You can go elaborating. No need to conclude. Say if, again, how far the design development, because if it is traditional, the design team is very good and you don't need to rely on any third party or novating kind of things not required, or incomplete designs or provisional some packages to be designed by the specialist subcontractor or package contractors, then you can go ahead with this. So that is the scenario. So we have to keep going on elaborating more and more until the assessor is satisfied or he is ready to go ahead with the next question. So don't stop. Whenever a level 3 question presented to you, don't stop by yourself. If it is level 2 or level 1, if you know very well this is about level 1 or level 2, because that is going to be clearly asking you about some knowledge, understanding, or some procedures. It is going to be very limited, and you can list, and you may ask, you want me to explore further, or you want me to discuss in detail about the steps or procedures that I will follow, I have been following, something like that. You can ask and proceed. Otherwise, you can stop with the answer which is concise and clear. That is enough for level 1 and level 2. But level 3, this kind of questions, again, I am presenting you some scenarios. These are the scenarios to give you some thought provocation. Other than that, mostly all the questions will be from your summary of experience and case study. So when you answer them, it is going to be your own experience. So be work with your own example of experience and continue with that. If they stretch beyond that and ask for something, if you are comfortable, yes, of course, you can go ahead and discuss in detail. Otherwise, that kind of practice, it is not your area of expertise. Clearly mention that part. I never handled, only theoretical knowledge I have. I may try, but that is not my experience. You can state that. You can clearly announce that to the panel and proceed with answering. Because when something scenario based questions are not mandatory for the RACS assessment as per RACS guidelines. So whenever a question presented to you that is going beyond your experience, you may declare clearly that is not within your experienced area of practice. So that is also fine. Let us move on to next question. A client is considering a new construction project with a high level of design risk. Advise them on the most suitable procurement route. Here, this is about procurement route. Justify your choice by explaining how it manages and allocates the risk between the client and the contractor. So here, particularly the risk transferring mechanism. How do you transfer the risk to the contractor? How it is design risk, because mainly the design risk, high level of design risk. Anybody wants to try, please?
For this scenario, I believe because there is a design risk to be assigned, so design and build will be more appropriate because the
Okay.
design risk will be associated with the contractor in that case.
Okay. That's what further they are asking you to justify your choice by explaining how it manages and allocates the risk between the client and the contractor. So
I will
always
add-
level
yeah.
3. Yes, please. Yes, please.
Yeah, I will advise to the client go for design under the design and build, develop and construct. Employer design team can develop the design certain extent and certain extent. Then after that he can novate to the contractor the design risk to the contractor. Then the design risk will be novate to the contractor. Then contractor will be responsible for the design. Then yeah.
Yes, please. Yes, Mr. Gautam.
I will advise to my client for the high level risk of project for the design. The design is a major part. So client want to transfer the design to the main contractor. So I could advise to the clients to go for the design and build. Because if there is a design and build, that contractor it's responsible for the design.
Yes, that is fine. Now the question extends you to explain how it manages and allocates the risk between client and the contractor. Now design and build. Okay. So design and build. Now you are transferring the design risk to the contractor. How would you maintain the quality or the expected functional performance or fit for purpose? What sort of arrangements you would practice?
For this case, if it is anything design and build contract, as a client, I will appoint a supervision consultant to manage to monitor the design. Once design is complete by the contractor, to get approval from the engineer. The design is okay, the quality is okay, as the quality is as per the standard or as per the contract, the quality is okay. So client can appoint the consultant team to monitor the design quality.
Okay.
I will advise to develop the concept design to the client before the appointing of the contractor, so that the contractor can capture the requirement of the client through the concept design, and then he can further develop to the required level. So the design risk will be written with the contractor, and he can capture the requirements of the client through the concept design.
Okay.
I should have the specific. I should have the quality control procedures stipulated in the contract, and I should have a management team so that they strictly supervise the quality.
Yes.
And,
so as well as mentioned by Gautam, you will have the supervising team, but in order to follow a specific set of requirements clearly defined, what is the functional requirement, what is the quality aspects, how you are going to define. Okay, if it is a hotel, you may mention it's what is the star rating you are expecting from it. So that is clearly going to get that star rating level of finishes and performance. All these
Yeah,
things are going to be there. Yes.
I will go for the KPI, key performance indicator, by the for the contractor, for the design aspect and site quality aspect and the program aspect. What are the performance aspect? I will go for the. I will prepare the KPI by giving the score to for the above 90 means there will be okay, above 95 means there will be okay, below 90 means there will be some penalty for the KPIs.
Okay, that is also fine to have a rigorous control. Yes, Rasan.
Yeah, client can provide the client brief, whatever the quality they need, then performance specifications, whatever the quality and design to be achieved. That one also a client can provide to maintain the design and quality.
Yes, so those are the things are important when it is about managing. So how this procurement route it is going to manage and allocate risk between client and contractor, because unless we don't have the clear set of requirements, we will not be able to control the contractor. He will say no, this is the what I considered within my offer, and there is no such detail from your contract. I cannot go for that kind of finishes or that kind of design details. So those are the risk. Again, it is resetting back to the client. So we have to transfer completely. That means it has to be set at the required quality benchmarks. Something has to be there. So then only we will be able to measure whether they are getting into it. Like you may have some KPI introduced if you are clearly evaluating them based on a measured approach. That is very rigorous. If possible, if you have a team to develop those kind of things, of course you can do. Otherwise, at least at a minimum level, what are the standard? You can refer to a benchmark standard of quality that you are expecting as a performance requirement. That has to be there. Otherwise, the contractor will keep on arguing anything that the supervising consultant giving advice. He may not approve it, and the contractor will not be ready to correct it as per the notes given to him. So this is going to be again a new risk. So we have to be very specific about performance requirements. That is what important when we manage and allocate risk. So next question, a client has received 2-stage tenders and one of the bidders has submitted a lower price based on a value engineering proposal. How would you advise the client on handling this proposal, especially concerning fairness to other tenderers and the potential legal implications? This is again when they mention 2-stage tendering, don't assume we are in the first stage. This is about in the second stage. That's why one of the bidder is capable enough to do value engineering. Maybe that is the bidder who has been there in the stage 1. So he has more knowledge about the project. So he is giving better value engineering proposals. The other bidders, they were unable to do. That's why they are higher value, but this tender is lower bid with a value engineering proposal. So how would you manage this process? That's what important. It's not about what you are going to do with procurement route or tendering method, nothing. Already you received the bid. Now only one bidder, he has given value engineering proposal. That is the reason his bid is being lowest.
I will, yeah.
Yes, please.
Yeah. I will see the ITT first. Is it allowing for the alternative for value engineering bids? If it is allowing, then I will I will collect from him. Then I can ask other bidders to submit. If not allowing, ITT is not mentioning that alternative is required, can submit it, then I will advise to contractor to submit based on the ITT, the original specifications. Then I will reject that one.
Okay, that is any other alternative approach to this?
Yeah. First, I will check the instruction to tender, as he said before.
Yes.
If ITT allow there is the provision for the value engineering, so I will accept this. I will accept this one. If there is no provision for the value engineering, I will return to the. I will inform to the tenderer to provide a original specification, because every tenderer should be treated equally.
Yes.
So if every tender should be treated equally, if it is anything addendum or any circular open, it should be for every tenderer, not for the one tenderer.
Yes, of
If
course.
it is, yeah. So if it is ITT is allowed for the value engineering, so we will as a client, as per the ITT, we will accept. If not allowed for the ITT, we will not accept. We will I will request during for the post tender clarification, provide a original tender amount as per the specification. Otherwise, if they did not provide the original amount also during the tender evaluation, I will not consider this tenderer as a participant.
Okay, that is fine.
Because if tenderer submitted a tender document on the time, so we can't ask for the another price for the tenderer. If they provide the value engineering against the ITT, so we will not open for this. We will not considering this tender is as a participant.
That is right. It is for the fairness. Any other point anyone wants to add? Okay. So that is the thing we have to do. Always we have to do how we are going to approach this proposal, whether it is required one or is it allowed within the tender. There is provision for it. Okay, he has submitted. Now, in order to make it apple to apple comparison, we have to forward this detail of value engineering to other tenderers. Then we will receive the bid for value engineering proposal that will be compared. Otherwise, again, if it is not allowed within the tender provisions, then we have to reject him and ask for the original submission as per the tender contracts. Hello, yes, Shifat, want to add something?
No, actually, recently I faced the severe scenario where with the value engineering, there is some saving. It is like considerable saving was there. But if contractor not revealing that what all, because based on his expertise and he have done the value engineering and he don't want to share. He's saying, okay, I can give you without compromising the functional requirement and the aesthetic look. There is nothing changes as the original requirements. So he's saying, okay, by maintaining that, I will be giving you, like say, for example, 25, 30 million, a considerable saving he's offering. But at this stage, he don't want to reveal what all the saving he is considering. So in this scenario, how this should be dealt? I mean, we cannot say, okay, reject, because it is adding to the value to the client. So because client is saving and contractor is ensuring him that, okay, I'm not deviating from your specs or functional requirement or aesthetic look. So, but still I will be able to give you the saving. So in this scenario, how we can, I mean, if we can say, okay, we will not consider, but it is adding to value to the client. So how?
Yes, that is the thing. That is the dilemma. How our main motive is to achieve.
Because some of the contractor, because based on their input, based on their expertise, they are making effort and they are coming up with some value engineering. And I don't think like everybody is like willing to share all the details with the cost breakdown at this stage. I mean, when the contract itself is not awarded. So this is the I've seen like in some situations. So this question to address there in this situations, I'm just bit thinking how to deal this.
Yes, that's what. So when the contractor is not willing to share the value engineering detail and he is giving only the proposal, assuring the functional requirement will be maintained and the aesthetic value also maintained. In that case, the client has the dilemma to go for the best value. So in that scenario, again, this is the thing we have to mention at least on the outline sort of value engineering details he has to reveal. Otherwise, it is going to be a problem for legal implications. Maybe one of the bidders, they are going to go for litigation. What you will do? It is going to be a problem. So you have to convince your client that we cannot directly approve this kind of proposals without comparing them, especially concerning the fairness to other tenderers. So here you have to find a way to convince the contractor and the client to find a solution to go ahead with the other thing. Otherwise, you may say to the contractor, no, we cannot consider this value engineering proposal as of now. You submit as per the original tender scope, and then we will award based on that. If you want to propose value engineering option later, if you are successful in the tender, then we will consider. That can be done. Because if he is not willing to do, then what we will do? We can say only these things. So you have to either you have to submit as per the original scope, which has been distributed through tender documents, which is there in the instruction to tenderers. You have to abide by that. Otherwise, your submissions become invalid. So he has to agree. And again, we have to safeguard client's interest also and make him understand that this is not going to be a best practice that may get us some kind of legal implications later. So we have to make him understand that either this contractor has to reveal the value engineering details, then we can ask other bidders who are capable enough to do the same thing and submit their bids. Otherwise, the bidder who has submitted the value engineering proposal, he has to submit the original one also. Otherwise, it is not going to be workable solution. So that is the thing. So we have to keep.
If the same scenario, if you are applying on the design and build case, because where everybody is coming up with a different design, different ideas. I mean, there may be 5 contractors and everybody having a different thing.
Yes, that is what we said. Again, so if you are agreeing for our functional requirement, what we have given in the
No, I mean the current scenario is for the 2-stage.
Yes. I'm also telling the same thing for single stage design and build. Even though if they are bringing something in the design and build, something completely deviating from our tender scope, what is the functional quality aesthetic requirements we are providing in the detailed client's requirement, then if it is not in compliance with those kind of requirements, then automatically you have to tell the bidder either they have to submit the original, then later they may go for value engineering. Otherwise, they have to share the details, then only we will be able to verify whether we can go ahead or not. How without this is not something like a leap of faith. Blindfoldedly, we cannot rely on one bidder. Maybe he is doing something wrong. That is not going to benefit at all.
There is, actually, to come out with this, I mean, the client was insisted to provide the changes or the value engineering, and the scenario which I said, like we have taken an NDA signed by them, so that they just to make sure that our design or value engineering will not be shared with the other vendors.
Yes, that is the scenario. So always you have to follow your best practice. So you cannot be lenient without having detail. How you are going to be lenient against one bidder who is simply assuring you with the similar quality and similar aesthetic values will be maintained. It is only assurances. It's not proven. So how would you take into consideration those kind of assurances? Maybe that is completely wrong, completely misleading. Who knows? So that is the scenario. So either he has to reveal, otherwise he has to submit as per the original tender scope. Then we will compare and award the contract. Later they may go for value engineering based on their proposal and get benefited.
Yes, I agree.
Okay. Okay. Let us move on to next question. Financial basis. A client is concerned about cost overruns on a project with an ambiguous scope. Advise them on whether a cost reimbursable or target cost financial basis would be more suitable. What mechanisms would you propose to control cost under your chosen option? Because here straightforward they are mentioning about two options here, cost reimbursable or target cost. So you have to compare and contrast between these two and advise. Anybody wants to try first?
Yeah, I will try.
Yes,
I
please.
will advise. Yeah, I will advise to the client to go for target cost because here, if here client can give the target estimated cost and to complete the project. Then if here is the gain and pain mechanism. Then if contractor complete within the target, then he will gain. Then profit will be share either party. Then with the contractor and employer. If you go for a cost reimbursement, whatever the cost he will do and contractor will do, and he will reimbursement with the his fixed percentage fee of his fee. So the most appropriate is I will advise to the client to go for target estimation cost.
Okay. So Gautam, you want to add something? Why you can't go ahead with the cost reimbursable?
Actually, I'm sorry, I'm not sure about these questions.
Okay,
we
no
can,
problem.
we can
Anything
use
you
the
want to
scenario.
get clarified or
No.
not
I
about
need
the
more
concept?
No. Yeah, I need to clarify about target cost means what. Okay, cost reimbursements, I know whatever the work and they added the profit,
Yes.
15% or 10%, actual work plus profit. But target cost means it is guaranteed
Target cost
maximum.
means yes, it is not guaranteed maximum. In the guaranteed maximum, if you fix an amount as a contractual contract sum, then if it is exceeding the amount, it will be responsible of the contractor. The client won't share. If it is within the limit, then that will be shared between the employer and the contractor. That is guaranteed maximum price because only the benefit, the gain is shared, not the pain. In the target cost, both are shared. Either the benefit or the pain. Pain
both.
and gain, both are shared.
Yeah, if cross the contract amount, if above the contract amount, so that whatever the above price, there will be both will be share.
Yes.
If less means there will be savings will be share both parties.
Yes.
Okay.
Shifat, you want to add something? What you have been?
No, I mean, like for this scenario, we cannot use guaranteed maximum price since the client is concerned mainly about the cost overrun. So that will give a client the assurance that there is a fixed price. I mean, that's the maximum price you will get. Since the scenario is basically showing that client is mainly concerned about the cost overrun.
Yeah, cost overrun. But what do you mean to
Guarantee
say? You will go for guaranteed maximum price?
Yes.
Okay.
Type of contract.
So actually, based on my previous experience, it's not my experience, it's some of my friend experience. For example, there will be terminated project that the remaining work to this, the client will appoint another contractor for the termination project. The scope is not 100% clear. It will be a ambiguity scope or something because some previous contractor they complete their work something under the new contractor taking over. So most of the project there will be cost reimbursable.
Okay.
There will be cost whatever the complete the work and the added the profit and overhead percentage, which is 10% or and 10 or 15%.
Yes.
But I didn't see in my experience the target cost to
Target
financial
cost.
basis.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw only the cost cost
Reimbursable.
reimbursement. Yes.
Because cost reimbursable, it is clearly where you have
Yeah,
the scope are very clear.
We can define,
Only that
yeah,
we are not sure about the
yeah, we can
pricing
define.
point. Yes.
Yeah, we can define the. We can show our actual work. This is work. This is what we done this work.
Yes. Yes.
So we give the quantity, and the client can the contractor can add the fixed percentage, which is 10 or 15% based on the contract.
Yes, of course. So that is the thing.
So if for example, if already the project is cost overrun, okay, so in this case, the target means is maybe the contract price is cross the contract price is more than contract price means there will be suffer more both party.
Yes.
If less means okay, that will be 50-50 chance.
Because
It
that is the
less,
case. So it is where.
Yeah, it can be less or it can be high. We don't know. That is,
yes.
there will be no cost certainty until the project complete.
Of course, yes. But we have to go ahead with those kind of things. Either you get clarified from the assessment panel at which stage this project is. If it is clearly, because we are under procurement and tendering, if it is only at the tendering stage, the project not at commenced, then it is fine. You can decide about anything. So based on that, the scope is ambiguous. Here, ambiguous means it's not clearly having the details.
That's what I explained. The scope is maybe that some termination project or previous contractor got termination and a new contractor will appoint for this project.
So that is the case. So you have to get clarified from the panel. Otherwise, you have to go ahead with your experience, what you have. From that point, you may add, based on my experience, I had one example. This is what happened. The project where the existing contract was terminated, and then it happened like this. So that is fine. So always it is better either to get clarified from the assessment panel. Otherwise, you put forward your own example, and based on that, you continue with your explanations. That is fine. And it has to be very clear. So why you want to see cost reimbursable? Because cost reimbursable, the contractor will be working on the functional aspect directly, delivering the projects without bothering about cost control. That is the main scenario. So, but here cost you want to get control. Again, target cost, yes, it will give you the cost assurance, but who will be ready to do that? So if the scenario is not favorable to the contractor, nobody is going to bid you.
The risk.
Yes, because they will be adding the risk to the contract price. So this bid value will be more. So whatever tender return you are going to get, it will be on the higher side. So that one we have to say. So what is practically good, and if either we have to go back and make the scope clear, we have to remove the ambiguity nature. So that one we have to do. Yes.
This mechanism will be like mostly in design and build project, right? Where the scope is ambiguous.
Ambiguous means it is not about the what we can say. If a tile is there, tile finishing, it can be anything. You are mentioning it should be approved by engineer. The tile cost is something you are getting from 20 dirhams to 400, 500 also. So
maybe
what you are going to approve?
Scope wording is not clear.
Yes, those kind of things. It is not about the design. It is about the ambiguity nature of the scope.
Any procurement route will come like this.
Yes, yes.
That's depends on the who contract prepare this one.
Yes. So that's why always when they present a scenario, get it clarified from the panel itself. So what they exactly want to start with. Otherwise, you start with your own example. So what you have in your experience, you say, I had one. Yes, please.
Yeah. Sorry. I will be leaving this now. I have another one discussion. I have another one discussion.
Go ahead, no
so
problem.
I will be good. Thank you.
Welcome. Yeah. Okay. Mr. Sheriff, you want to add something? Okay.
No, sir.
Okay, thank you. So that is the case. Always when level 3, it cannot be anything like a right or wrong answer. It's all, there are a lot of issues that present within a scenario that may lead to different opinion of or advice. So what we are assuming or what we are aware of, so that is the thing. Either you ask further clarification from them, otherwise you put forward what is the example you are building this explanation. So that is the case what it is important when you are answering at level 3. So next one, partnering. A client wants to foster a more collaborative relationship with their contractor and supply chain. Advise them on how partnering could be implemented to achieve this goal. Discuss the key differences between project and strategic partnering and the circumstances under which each would be appropriate. So that means you have to find whether they are appropriate for a situation. Under what situation you will advise which one. You have to mention the key differences between project and strategic partnering. So one project partnering, it will be for the specific project. The other one is strategic. That means for over a period of time, for 2 years, 3 years, or 1 year also, it is fine. So you will be doing different projects together. That is strategic. Project means only one project you will work together on a partnership basis. So which one you will advise on which scenario? Anybody wants to try first? No idea about partnership. Because usually these things are best with different like a public-private partnership is there. Those kind of partnering is there. Otherwise, framework agreement where you need to do a lot of small projects or maintenance works. Where do you want to keep strategic partnering? Prasan?
Sir, I don't have idea.
Okay, fine. Shifat?
Sorry, I couldn't recall now.
Okay. So this is mainly, that is the thing. Project is particular project. Where do you want to work together for that project and then adjourn? You will leave apart. But strategic means you will do some sort of framework. It is not framework agreement. It's a framework partnership. You will try to bring the people together, contractor, supply chain, everyone together for a sequence of projects. So more than one. Where do you do these kind of things? The client is a developer. He wants to keep on developing many projects. Our clients is a facility manager who needs different kind of renovation kind of works or changing the interior works whenever the one occupier moves out and another one comes in. If it is offices, there may be different set of things are required. So if you have some sort of arrangements within yourself and you may do those kind of things together. So that kind of thing, maybe it is good when you are going strategic partnering. Otherwise, you will be having one project and you will be having the partnership like a public private. You are going to do infrastructure projects. Like there are many bridges or underpass or some sort of roads. If you are going to do many things, it's not as a holistic development. One by one, you want to go ahead with. In that case, strategic partnering will be workable. Otherwise, it will be a one project that you are awarding on a single point of time. Then you can go ahead with project partnering. So that is the key aspect. How the client is capable enough to develop more projects or not. Is there a requirement? Similar projects in nature are going to be developed within a range of period. Then only you will be able to go for strategic partnering. If it is not, it is going to be only a project partnering for a particular project and you will execute. So these kind of things are not encouraged under FIDIC kind of contracts. We are mostly familiar with FIDIC. We are not using much of NEC or JCT kind of partnering approaches here. So you can clearly mention that you have no first-hand experience in this kind of partnering, only theoretical knowledge you have. You may try to differentiate those things. Other than that, you are not moving forward with any experience, evidence, or examples. That one you can declare and move ahead. So you don't need to bother about getting involved yourself, answering something you are not comfortable with, which you have no experience at all. That is the clear thing you have to do whenever you have been presented with a scenario that is completely out of your experience. Be honest and just let them know this is the case. You try to answer the differences maybe. That is the only description based knowledge you can try to provide. So the next one is discuss the impact of electronic tendering on the traditional process. How has it changed the roles and responsibility of a quantity surveyor during a tender exercise? Earlier, you have been collecting the documents as hard copies and distributing and making arrangements. Now it is being electronic. So what is the difference you have been forced to adopt when it comes to electronic over traditional processes during the tendering? Either it may be you are representing the client or engineer, or else you are representing the contractor. So when you go for supply chain procurement or something, you can relate to your experience and try to address how you are handling this.
Yeah, in electronic
please.
tendering, yeah, compared to traditional method, in electronic tendering, it is the shorter procurement cycles. Then there is economical, the less expense, less cost. Then bidding should not be allowed after due date and time. Then bid cannot be opened before due date or time. That is the advantage there. Then bid can only open the person who is authorized person, or officers only can open. Then there will be a online safe and security, less expensive, then more paperwork, no need. In holidays also it can be accessible, but in traditional it cannot be. There will be a lifelong storage. The big storage will be there. Then these advantages are there in electronic e-tendering methods.
Okay, advantages. Disadvantages. Yeah. What you are facing difficulties?
Yeah, disadvantages. There will be the hackers can hack.
Yes, of course. Data breach is the main trouble when it comes to electronic data. If you are not having secure systems, and each one of the user has to have a secure system, otherwise data breach is possible threat what you can get. Other than that, practically
knowledge and training.
Yes.
I mean, knowledge and training, the requirement, I mean, how to, the website was based on.
Yes, earlier you have been collecting the hard copy, making copies, photocopy them and distribute to your supply chain. Now, how you will do that? Now you are taking out of the system, or the same system allows you to distribute. How do you manage? The process is getting connected back to the tender submission. So what sort of things you are doing, those kind of arrangements? And what sort of system is required to involve your supply chain? Do you have your own system, or your employer system is allowing you to have the facility to include your subcontractors and supply chain within the tendering, e-tendering, or still you are downloading the soft copy and distributing by email or something else? What you are doing? Because when you are going like, okay, yes, go ahead.
Yeah, we are actually distributing by your website only. I mean, through the platform we are distributing. It's like a electronic only, not by you. emails. It can be as a link we are
No,
sharing.
what I'm asking is now you are getting something from the employer. So employer has a system. Now,
exactly.
How do you connect your supply chain to the employer's tender documents?
That is being downloaded, and again we are uploading in our share and sharing with the subcontractor, because each subcontractor maybe will have to share the different, upload the different documents based on their activity or based on the task. So in that way, again we are segregating and downloading. Separately we are sending to the
Yes.
through in-house.
So that is the
platform.
thing. The first thing is that all of your people, whomever you are giving access to your system, they should have a secure access. Otherwise, it is going to be a data breach. If data breached in one of the supply chain, that is going to give trouble to you, because you are responsible whenever you are collecting something and downloading from the client's system. So again, that is the first thing, data breach. You have to make sure that everyone access securely. End-to-end encryption is there, and they are getting distributed through a proper channel, and everybody, they are capable enough to access your system. So their technical capability is also important to access your system and provide their bid on time. And then you have to collect them and collate, and then you have to make your submission to the client submission.
I think contractor cannot give the access to the subcontractors to client network.
Yes,
or
of
access,
course.
because
Yes.
there will be a problem. This only contractor is linked, and the bidder is linked with the client. So no other
Yes.
party is part of these tenders. So it is a contractor's responsibility or bidder's responsibility to arrange the documents to subcontractors and whatever order the people they want to include. So this is a contractor's headache, not to do with the client access the details, because if something has happened wrong, so it will be a big issue for the contractor and as well as the client.
Yes. So that is the main risk associated with this. Embrias, you want to add something? Okay. So anything further you want to discuss in this? Let us move on to next question.
Yeah, we'll move to the next question.
Yes, please. So a contractor on a project you are tendering has submitted a qualified tender. So you are tendering. One contractor, he is submitting a qualified tender. That means qualified means there are many qualifications included within the tender. That means there are some assumptions, additions or omissions or something they put qualification. Explain the process for normalizing or equalizing the tender returns to allow for a fair comparison. What are the risks of this approach, and how do you mitigate them? Are you aware these qualifications, what they are including in the bid?
Yeah, in that case, we have to list out all their qualification, and we have to write in PTC. We have to clarify it and get confirmation. To get a compliance against the requirements. If something is deviating from the qualification, so that means after receiving after receiving a bid, it has to be listed all their qualifications in the PTC, and we have to get written from their tender for the confirmation.
Okay.
In order to normalize.
Anybody else wants to add something to this? Okay, and that is what you have to do. You have to make sure that all the qualifications are verified and cleared from the particular contractor. If something is important that can be further discussed with the client and included as a addendum or post-tender clarification to be distributed to other bidders and make them update their bids based on the new addendums or post-tender clarifications, then you can compare them. This is the fair comparison, because maybe some of the things are important for you to get clarified, because some limitations which is ambiguous in your scope, that can be clarified. If it is not, simply the contractor is trying to put some qualification that benefits him to reduce the price or gain advantage over other bidders. Those kind of things you ask him to withdraw and submit the tender without those qualifications. That one can be done as a best practice. Yes. Anything else? Okay. Let us move on to the next question. So a client wants to establish a framework agreement. Advise them on the advantages and disadvantages of this approach compared to traditional tendering for securing a pipeline of work. Here, this is a pipeline. So pipeline, you may have many sections of projects. It may not be continuous. It may be located in different locations of the geographical area, and it may have different things involved, but not as a continuous, a single project. Then framework agreement is the best approach. But what are all the disadvantages in that? Any idea? How do you discuss? Because traditional tendering, you are going to tender for a certain project on a specific time, and then that will be compared and awarded. It will be executed. But when you go for a framework agreement, what is the
advantages? Mainly the terms, condition, and the price fluctuation and inflations can be mitigated through the framework agreement. Since the constant or the fixed price will be followed for all the similar projects.
Because that's what. Okay, you go ahead. Disadvantages.
Okay, I'll come back on this.
Okay, because when you mention advantages, the same thing going to be disadvantages also. When you say framework agreement means you are going to do the project over a period of time. That means 2 years, 3 years, like that. And it is going to be for multiple projects. And there may be, may not be. So overall, how much commitment the contractor has to put here. So he is going to take into consideration of price fluctuation and escalation or scarcity of material, labors, whatever it may be, or location factor. Maybe he may be comfortable in some parts, may not be, or the area may be more congested or traffic. Those kind of things are going to be there. In one scenario, may not work in different area. So those risks, the contractor going to add as a cost to the project. So he is going to hike the price or add with multiple risk allowances, contingency fund to the project and distribute throughout the pricing. Because some of the items may present in one area, some of the items may not be there. The pipe sizes may different. So the other units which are connecting pumping station or those kind of facilities that may be required, may not be required. So all these things they will take into consideration and distribute the pricing to their advantage. So again, this thing may be advantage, may not be an advantage, or it may become disadvantage, because the pricing point, it may not be so much value to the precise time. But again, considering the re-tendering, every time you are spending time to prepare documents and tender and collect the bids and compare them, all this cost, how it is going to impact, and time. So this cost and time, again, you are factoring back to cost, how it will be. So then whether this is waiving off the disadvantages of risk allowances added by the contractor, or still you have an advantage by going back to your traditional tendering. So you have to discuss like this and say, most probably considering the time which is required for re-tendering everything, it will be more advantageous to go ahead with framework agreement. That's what you have to mention.
Yes.
Okay. Anybody wants to get clarified or add something to this? Okay. So the remaining things are like level 2, tendering and tender documents. So here walk through your role and key responsibilities in preparation of a recent tender document. What was the most challenging document to compile, and how did you ensure it accuracy? Because this is about any example they are asking, what sort of tender document did you prepare? So always keep into consideration, it is clearly mentioned in your pathway guide that preparing BOQ is part of quantification and costing. You should not bring BOQ as an tender document. So you have to consider only the other things which are relevant to tendering, because it may be just compiling the documents, collating the documents, whatever it may be. You don't need to be the person who is preparing the document.
The most challenging document, it means like something like addendums and all, because that is periodically it is issuing throughout.
So when you go for tender document, don't go to the addendum and tender clarification. Those kind of things are at later stages. So first, when you say tender document means initially go with which are the documents you mostly include in the beginning.
Okay.
Yes, Rasan, you want to mention something?
Yeah, in the tender document, then we can talk about the specimen form, like how the performance bond, advance payment bond, that it should be aligned with the employer requirement. Then
Yes.
regarding the ITT, then
Yes.
what is the this one? What is the requirement should be include? Those kind of things. When the providing the BOQ, that preambles, how contractor
That's what
need
I
to
told you
price.
in the beginning. Always
Yeah.
don't bring BOQ
Okay.
as a tender document here, because
Okay.
the pathway guide clearly mentions BOQ covered under quantification and costing.
Okay.
So even though the preambles are there, but that is part of BOQ preparation.
Then we can talk about the condition of contract, because
Yes, conditions of contract.
Which procurement path, if it is a traditional, we can go for a FIDIC red book, or in design build yellow book, like that, if it required the bespoke condition of contract.
Yes.
Yeah.
So appropriate form of contract.
Yeah.
And available test reports or technical details, specification and drawings, compelling them to.
Yeah, method statements.
Yes, if at all it is there, yes, you can include with the specification for the methods.
Yeah. Okay.
Anybody wants to add something? Okay, let us move ahead. Tendering and tender documents. Again, we have described the process you followed to compile a tender list. How did you ensure the pre-qualified contractors were suitable for the project? So here the tender list means not about the document list, it is about the contractor list. So just one example from your experience, for which project, how did you select the contractors?
Based on the category and the project, the pre-qualifications, based on the, like if residential and high volume of project, then based on that there will be a category of assigned.
Yes. So explain the process, like how you categorize your pre-qualified contractors, the volume of the project, value of the project, type of the project. So anything specialty. So all these things you will consider. Give one example for which project, like take it's a residential project. Recently, I prepared a list of contractors. I selected based on the value of the project, because all those contractors were already pre-qualified for certain level of project value. So those kind of explanations you can give, because it is a residential. Or else if you are mentioning about mixed development or infrastructure, so what are all the things, elements, like value of the project, technicality, how buildability it is going to be considered for a contractor, and if there are some incomplete designs, how would you take into consider if the contractor has design and build capability for some part. Those kind of things you can take into consideration and add it to this. Okay, I think we are running over the time.
Yes.
You have the questions, just to go through the details and try to answer the quiz one which we are sharing through the group and as well as the LinkedIn. Just it will give some like what passive learning. It's not like active. It is right or wrong. Just if you click something, then whenever the thing is getting concluded, automatically you will get the details. So you will know what is right or what is wrong. So don't worry about the correctness of the answers, and always try answering and keep practicing, because you have to speak up. That is what important at this stage, more than preparing technically sound, because you have the experience, you have the knowledge. Only the thing you have to speak up. Whenever the scenario is presented, be clear about what you are discussing. That is what important. So bringing it immediately to your delivery, it has to be clearly available from your mind. That is what important. If anything you want to discuss or you want to get clarified, you may ask now. Anything other than what we discussed today, or any particular thing want to get clarified?
I have a question actually regarding the single stage tendering. I have
Yes.
mentioned my SOE regarding the single stage tendering for the use for the appointing of one of the subcontractor.
Okay.
So the panel asked me like, how do you selected the subcontractor? So just wanted to get understanding like how the single stage tendering, because actually there was, I have mentioned that based on the benchmark, because that's a subcontractor for the ELV works. So I mentioned like there was a adjacent building was, I mean the same building, the phase 2 was being done by the one of the contractor, subcontractor. So we have appointed to avoid the time and integration between the both, and the price wise I have taken a benchmark from our other projects. So I'm just want to get a clarity actually the how this.
Then it has to be negotiated tender,
Mhm.
because you have something in your benchmark. Based on that, you are trying to bring closer to that and agree with the contractor selected. So it is a negotiation only. So what is there in the bidding process? Am I clear, or still
Yes.
I'm not getting your?
No. You're clear actually. I was not clear because I mentioned like it's to appoint the subcontractor. I've used like single stage tendering in just
Instead
to.
of single stage, because single stage, all of these things are single stage. So single
Yes.
stage, you have like public open tendering and selective tendering, negotiated tendering. So those
Yes.
kind of things are there. So
Yes.
when you mention these things, which tendering method you followed? So negotiated, you have something, you did not prepare a pre-tender estimate. So straight away you took from the benchmark figure, and closer to that you try to negotiate. That means it is negotiation only. So you have to mention negotiated tendering,
Mhm. Yes. Clear now.
because without pre-tender estimate you cannot compare. So it is only negotiation.
Yes.
So
Yes.
anything else? Anybody? Mr. Sharif, have something? Rasan?
Yeah, all clear, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
We will call it as a day. We will conclude this session. We will meet on the next session. If anything you have, please share any questions or clarification you require through chat or WhatsApp or even in the LinkedIn. We can keep the momentum going, because if many minds involved in certain things, and you will get more knowledge than what you are thinking and learning by yourself. So that is what is important at this stage. Be active, keep your preparations going on. All the best.
Thank you so much.
Welcome.
Thank you, sir. Thank you
Thank
very
you, sir.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome. See you. Good night.